My name is Coach Mike, or my name is Michael Lewis, and I am a professional boxing coach and owner of 3P Boxing 24/7, and I've devoted a large portion of my life to helping other people get better in boxing. So my earliest memories of boxing, it comes from my dad watching boxing, uh, probably in the 80s, and watching these two gentlemen in the ring with gloves on. But it would be years later that I actually came across someone who formally helped me learn how to box. The person that introduced me to boxing formally and actually taught me how to box, his name was Jimmy Goodman. Jimmy Goodman's father, Jimmy Goodman Sr., was teaching Jimmy when he was a small child, and he had taught many kids in Rockford how to box. And so Jimmy, who was on my wrestling team at the time, said, "Hey, Mike, summer's about to be here. Would you be interested in learning how to box?" And I was like, "Yeah." And once I said yes to that, I told him I don't have a ride. He said, "Hey, don't worry about it. I'll come pick you up." And when summer came, after our wrestling season and after, school had ended, he started picking me up and taking me to his father's gym to teach me how to box. We would work out for about 2 hours every night or every other night, and I proceeded to learn boxing and really fell in love with the sport. After my summer of doing my boxing training, I started to have a lot of issues with my knees and my joints, and I wanted to go on and wrestle at the university and wrestle throughout my college career, but once my body started to kind of break down a little bit, I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I was like, didn't really recognize myself, so I was like, I need to do something to get myself back in shape, get myself something that I enjoy. And so I started kind of going through kind of like the archives in my brain. I was like, okay, when was I in the best shape of my life? And it was when I was boxing. And so I looked up to go find a boxing gym, which I did. I started feeling great again. I started doing a lot more sparring. I was so intense on getting myself into good shape that I would ask the owner all the time, "Hey, can I have a key to the gym?" And the owner would say no. Obviously, he would say, "No, you cannot have a key to my gym. When we're closed, we're closed." And then I said, well, if I ever open up a gym, I'm going to make it 24/7 for guys and gals like me that don't mind being by yourself. One day, the instructor that was supposed to teach the class didn't show up. And the owner asked me, "Hey, Mike, would you be interested in getting a free membership?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, if you teach some classes, you don't have to pay a membership." I took it very seriously, and I just started to just study my butt off about everything related to boxing: footwork, head movement, different punches, everything. My role models were teachers and people that were in education. My mom is a teacher. My wrestling coach and my football coach was also a teacher, so I wanted to follow in their footsteps. So what I was doing is, because I was a teacher, I was very good with organizing the material that I wanted to teach, and I was working through a lot of different ideas and concepts that I was using at the gym, but I also had an opportunity to use it with some people that were training with me at the gym. So I had this bright idea, okay, if I could train people a little bit longer, I could kind of smooth out this system a little bit more and take it back to the gym. And now I have a program that I could start to use at the particular gym. And the way I would do this is I would tell people who I was training at that gym, I was like, "Hey, why don't you come to my house? I'll train you for free. I got everything that we need except the ring. Why don't you come work with me?" And so I'm trying to put together this system. Well, the owner heard me say that to someone, and he basically fired me on the spot. And what's crazy is the week before he fired me, someone had kind of approached me and said, "Hey, Mike, if you ever did open your own gym, what would it be like? Who would you train?" And that's where it all came together. I was like, well, maybe I can do this in my garage. And that's what I started doing. I started to just train folks, anybody that wanted to be trained, I would train them in my garage. I was working out of my garage. I had everything all set up. By this time, I think I had, lights and heat, at least. And I went into an open house, and I had my 3P boxing jacket on or hoodie on, and it's a gentleman that I bumped into who was selling a home. He said, "Oh, are you a boxer?" And I said, "No, I'm not a boxer. I coach boxing." He's like, "Oh, really?" I said, "I always wanted to learn how to box. My dad introduced me when I was younger, and it's one of those things I wish I had stuck with." He said, "My name is Rick Hart." He said, "Hey, give me your number, and I'm gonna give you a call. I would like to start taking some boxing lessons." And that's how I started to kind of develop that general fitness clientele. Rick Hart was actually one of my first non-competitive members at the garage.
Hey, you know what was interesting about that first conversation? I think we hit it off right away.
Yeah, we did.
It was just like a kind of a magic moment. I think as the years progressed, I helped Mike, set up some bags and help him get his garage, fully functional. I think 4, 5, 6 years we were together, developing this concept, and yeah, that's kind of how it started.
I actually had a dream, and in my dream, I could see it. I could see everything that I wanted to have in that particular space. I took out a sheet of paper, I started drawing some things. I came up with like an idea for 3P boxing, as far as like what the logo should look like. I just tried to put everything together. And I showed Rick, I said, "Rick, hey man, you gotta see this drawing. I think I'm onto something. I think we could create a nice boxing gym." And Rick said, "Hey, if you ever seriously think about opening a boxing gym, like I want to be a part of it." Because I had kids that were coming to my garage. I had adults coming to my garage, men, women. It was basically like a mosaic of the entire community, right? And once we started to kind of design like what was going on in the garage, okay, Mike, I know you do this very, very well with the boxing stuff, but when it comes to like design and spatial awareness, that was like peanut butter and jelly, like that we could really work together and feed off each other to create something very special for the community. What we were doing for 3P Boxing, it really hasn't been done. We are a boutique style boxing gym that teaches people how to box. And you really just don't find boxing gyms like that right next to Panera Bread, right next to, a Starbucks, right? So we're one of these places that have real boxing instruction, real boxing coaches that's teaching the real skill and martial art of boxing right in the heart of the suburb. It was hard until I really found the place. So I had gone around to a lot of different places in Woodbury and also in Oakdale and Maplewood.
This wall didn't work and this wall didn't work, and I'm like, oh, the rent's pretty good, but I don't think this is going to work. So I'm not trying to make him feel bad, but inside I'm going like, I hope he doesn't go in this direction,
When we walked in here, this was like, it just felt like we were just coming home.
Yeah. I knew almost instantly that this was the location. I mean, I kind of visualized the whole thing because we said, well, right back here, that's perfect. It's already blocked off for a cardio room. Like instantly, that's the cardio room. Yep. And I was thinking about, oh, this would be perfect for a ring. And just visualizing it, it just seemed like, it was magic. Yeah.
My biggest issue when I first started was the fact that everything was going back into the business. I didn't have enough money to hire anyone. I didn't have a lot of money for like marketing and advertising. It was really important for me to make sure that everyone that came to the door got the absolute best boxing experience and customer service that they could possibly imagine. We were building and building and building. I think in those 3 months, we got up to almost 100 members. I remember getting a phone call that someone had called me. I was in here training, and they called me. It's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mike. I'm so sorry." I was like, "What? Why are you sorry?" Like, "Oh, your gym is shut down." I'm like, "No, it's not. I'm in here teaching right now. It's not shut down." And then I go home and to realize that all gyms across the entire state are closed. We didn't know at the time how long it was going to be. We checked all the boxes. We checked all the boxes. There was no question on there. What's your plan if the whole world shuts down all on the same day? It was like devastating. it was devastating to business. So what we decided to do was I decided to teach boxing training online, at home in my basement. So the members that didn't pull their memberships will still have a way to get their workout in. Just even if we could just be on camera and reach out to other people and tell them that we're there for them and we're here to help them get better and to train, I mean, it was worth it. I hated doing it, but it was worth it.
It was kind of in slow motion. Is this really happening to us?
Yeah.
And then we opened back up again, and shortly after that, they shut us down again for 45 more days. And just a huge, I mean, let's use the word punch out. We got knocked down.
Yeah.
We knocked out.
A friend of mine reached out to me and says, "Hey, Mike, I have a gym too, and my gym is closed, but I'm selling weights. I'm going to pivot and start selling weights." I think the movie theater was just selling popcorn because you couldn't go to the movies either. And I was like, wait a second, they're selling popcorn? And they had people in line for popcorn just to help that company stay open during the pandemic. And I said, well, if it could work for a movie theater, then if people knew that I was selling weights, maybe that same kind of concept will work here. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll be selling weights. And I ended up selling thousands and thousands of pounds of weights, and sold weights for about, I think, 45 days. And even after the gym was scheduled to be reopened, we still continued to sell weights. For that year that we got shut down, the next year from when we got shut down to reopen, right, I think we grew by 279% in that year. So that was like a really good indicator that the demand was there. People enjoyed and liked our product and and our service that we were giving them, and that we were kind of onto something. What separates 3P Boxing from other gyms and other places is the kids. I mean, I can name probably about 12 different gyms here in the city of Woodbury, but I can't name any gyms that specifically says families welcome. You know, and I think a lot of times parents are running kids around doing all of the different things that kids need to do, hockey and softball and basketball. And a lot of times they'll sacrifice their own health and their own time to make sure their kids get a place to train. But I wanted to make sure that I gave the city of Woodbury an opportunity to train in a spot as a family, not just as an adult individual, but make something for families. So like that really separates us from all the other gyms, is the fact that we're so welcoming and so inviting to families and people of all different ages and backgrounds.
It's always intimidating going into a boxing gym for the first time, but one thing that helps us is when you walk in, you see a clean gym, equipment that's taken care of, and you can tell by the culture of the class that people care for each other and they want to help beginners feel more comfortable in learning and being outside of their comfort zone.
We are not just teaching kids boxing, we are teaching them life skills. So we're teaching them how to work hard even when you're tired. We're teaching them how to respect not only your coaches and teachers, but to respect fellow students. We're teaching them how to, be able to kind of learn a new skill and not give up. So all of these life skills that we're teaching them, resilience, dedication, hard work, respect, we're teaching them through boxing. As we grow up, it's really important to have those skills and have that characteristics kind of ingrained in us.
We're family oriented, we help youth, we help young adults, and we help anybody all the way up to, I believe 75 is our oldest member, so it's very welcoming. And oftentimes when you go into a boxing gym, you see, everyone's real macho and trying to prove themselves, but everybody at our gym can be different.
We cannot get better by ourselves. We need other people to help us grow and improve. And how are we going to do that if we're all sitting on our phones between sets? We're all got headphones on so we can't talk and communicate with each other. You can't do that in that environment. So the boxing gym and other martial arts environments are great places to learn discipline, but it's also great places to become more social and become more engaged, because I guarantee you there's someone here that's going to want to get to know you, not because you got the biggest muscles in the gym, but just because you're a genuine and decent person. I always needed people to be very patient with me, especially when I was learning boxing. And we want to give that back to other people and really encourage them that you can learn it, it just takes time. So we're going to give you time, but can you give yourself time, right? Can you give yourself time to go through those ups and downs, those frustrating days that you don't want to be here, but you come anyway? The frustration of not knowing how to hit the bag properly. It's for you to learn to appreciate and forgive yourself, and because that's what we're going to do. We're going to give you the patience, but it's for other people to learn how to be patient with themselves. That really makes us stand out.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, this gym is my safe space. You know, I've gone through several kind of hard times through my time here, and this place has always been somewhere that I know that I can go to, that I have a supportive community, that I can, you know, just kind of get lost in my workout. And I would say that for the people that come here and the kids too, that the kids have somewhere that, you know, in the chaos that is life, that they have somebody, they know they have a coach that cares about them.
To create a gym that's inviting to a large part of the population, not just the power lifters or the people that want to do CrossFit or the young guys or the young girls or the just women stay at home, but to have a spot that is like inviting for everybody, that's like a dream come true for me. I think that my gym looks a lot like the country looks, and it looks a lot like how things should look. Like, it doesn't matter what background you come from. If you come here and you are excited about getting in shape and you're excited about doing your best, then you're gonna fit here. Don't worry about, you don't have to have the perfect pair of leggings on or the perfect pair of shoes on. Just come here, bring your effort, and we'll really take care of the rest. That's what's most exciting to me, is that we're really a big part of the community, help people of all different backgrounds get in shape by using boxing.
The classes are picked at random, and in each class you'll learn a new punch, you might learn a new combination, you might learn a new sparring technique, and as you keep coming to classes, we'll mark you off on your card, and those marks on your card help you advance from round 1 all the way to round 12. And we learn a new sparring technique, we'll learn a new punch or a new combo. And once we get through all of those classes, there's 24 different classes, so all of the 24 different classes once, they become a white band. And then once they get through it twice, then they become the next band, which is yellow. And we have 12 different band levels up until black band. And so repeating those punches, repeating those classes, repeating those combos, even if it's something that we've technically learned before, you don't perfect it on the first time. And so being able to, you know, do all of those 24 classes, we can be able to teach you rather than like the traditional way of throwing something. So the wristbands do a couple of things here. I think that it helps give us a goal to like reach to the next level. So this is what I'm working towards. So it helps give us something to work towards. The wristbands also help somebody, if they're new coming in and they see a student with a wristband on, to be like, oh, that's somebody that I can ask a question to. You would know that that student had a band and went through the system at least once. They can serve as kind of like a reference point. If you don't see a coach or something, you can like ask them.
You might get off work late, but you want to get that workout in before you go home. So we made that available 24/7. So you can come in to the gym, pop your headphones in, and just get busy and start working on yourself. You don't have any excuse. You can't say, well, the gym is closed, I can't work out. No, we're open 24/7. So if you really want to get it, you can get it. All we have to do is 30 minutes a day, and that will definitely help us stay in shape. So we all owe it to ourselves to give ourselves 30 minutes a day. So that's why I keep it open 24/7.
The relationship and the bond and the brotherhood that we created over the years kind of led to this.
I think we got along so well because Rick is a family man, I'm a family man. So the decisions that we kind of took to start this business, we always kind of kept our families in mind and trying to do the best job for them. We both have this desire to make sure that we're creating something for the community. So we want the community to come in and say, well done. It's interesting, I've been in boxing so long that I have students and I've trained their parents. I've trained their parents before they had kids, And now the parents have kids, and now I'm training their children. So I've been in this area for a little while, and the parents trust me with their kids, and that means a lot to me. And the parents trust me with their own health and fitness. And so my overall goal is just to keep 3P boxing, keep boxing in the city of Woodbury for as long as possible. So that's really what keeps me going, is every day just trying to figure out how many more people can we get started with boxing, because boxing has just been a beautiful sport for me.